So first, there's a whole variety of these horizontal, or this cable railing. And I'm looking at how are the newel posts put together. This uses this composite material for the railing, the top rail, the bottom rail, and these post sleeves. And these post sleeves, these are two different types apparently. And the handrails, I like the top rail. It's not super, nothing is really chunky like your existing pergola. But I like the top rail. And I'm just not sure about these ribs down on these newel posts, where they have this funny little trim at the corner and this thing here, which doesn't seem very less traditional than this one, which is still from the same people, but you get this nice hard edge here apparently, for one thing. The rail is similar, so that's a composite rail like the deck boards will be. And there's this lighting sort of thing to think about. But I like this handrail a lot, really, compared to some of the other ones. I mean, they're showing it, just ignore this here. We would have cable rail up to these. At least I would hope that that's, you see the difference in these newel posts with that funny little corner. The other thing to consider is these colors. It's basically black, white, shiny black, depending on the manufacturer, shiny black, white, or this kind of non-committal matte espresso, which is closest, we would just specify that if it was coming from these people. But so I'm going to be looking for cable rail that pairs up with one of these hard-edged columns and has all the different parts that we're going to need for this particular project. And this particular series 175 from AFCO seems to have everything that we're going to need to do what we want to do there, including the ramp, etc. You might notice though, the only newel posts, the only posts for these are the 3-inch posts. Is all that's offered for the cable railing. Notice here these different parts and how we're going to be able to use them, hopefully. I'm hoping we can use this fixed sloped one rather than these hinged ones. They show some hinged ones at some point. I'm hoping we can use those fixed ones. Our stairs are 35 degrees and they say they work 32 to 40 degrees. So presumably those will work, and that's what I'm showing in these little models you'll see. These are the colors from this manufacturer for the newel posts and the other parts that are not the cable rail. Cable rail is made of stainless steel. And I will try to find out where you can go see this, or try to see if I can get some sample chips over to you. It's kind of textured a little bit. Maybe you can see that a little better in this enlargement. I don't know. But yeah, it's textured somewhat, and that's what I'll show in the models. So assuming you'd only be interested in one of those three at the bottom, the black, the bronze, or the brown. But if you do want to see something else, let me know. There was also this total glass type railing as well. So the rest of this film should go pretty quickly, because once I decided on using this for the model anyway, I put that together, and then it was pretty easy to look at some of the other issues with our own project. This is that product installed, and this is on a corner. We don't have any corners, okay? So our cable will just run to our columns, and I don't know if you can just put these into those wood columns, in new 6x6 columns, and then run that in. But that's what I'm showing. They do offer, you might have seen it in one of those things back there. Actually, that's coming up in a minute here. Half post that you can put against each of your columns. I did not show that because, particularly at the front, I figured we would just be running one cable all the way through all of those columns out there, and even presumably, possibly even around the corner. So that needs just a little bit of research on there. There's the railing, and I think that's aluminum. And this is the one where you can turn to 45 as you turn a bend, and they actually have them solid as well apparently, but they have one that hinges down for doing ramps and stairs. Oh, here it is here. This is that 3-inch wall plate. So we could opt, because I'm not going to put any other trim down at the base of those 6x6s, those new 6x6s. So remember, we can only use the 3-inch posts, period. And our options is to go through those 6x6s or use these against them. I did not bother using those against them. I did not want to add anything else to it. And that's one of the little pieces. I don't know how those two pieces go together. But when I started with these stairs out here, moving them over to this location. And when I began this, I wanted to line the edge of these treads with the point of this here, which is kind of the standard arrangement where the stair would be all the way, the edge of this would be right with the edge of this point. But you can see there's still going to be a gap. If I do it that way, there's still going to be a gap up here. And we can't bring this far enough forward. Well, it starts looking funky. We could bring this far enough forward, but then we've got this over here, and so that loses its symmetry. So yeah, when you rotate around. So what I did, I thought that stair there is 5'6" out to out, including the piece of railing that's on it. But we go like this, and even when I brought this other side in so that can also go inside that column, this is still 44 inches between these bases here, which is 3'8". And I kind of liked that made that stair a little less strong. You can do some creative planting, I think, in this corner. A person could turn these back and go back here, and there might be some justification for that, but I did not take the time to show that. There might be some justification because of this other octagonal stuff going here, where these stairs would turn and die back against the face of this. Tread go back, 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 back. And then your railing, then you start getting into this splayed railing, where the railing and post would come up this way like this. And I don't know if that is worth looking at or not, but I didn't in any event. So I was just glad that I thought that worked out pretty nicely. And then when we start putting the rest of the railings in, and these are the various colors, just from this close-up view, this one back here, that's what they call their brown. This is their bronze, brown, and black. And I just showed things in black for now, because I really didn't like, neither of these is close to what we have, at least if I have that accurately shown. But I like the look of this for sure. And you can see how simple, and you can see here I'm just dyeing it against these columns. And if that is not possible, I think it is, because I think I've seen it done, but if it's not possible, we would use those half posts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many of those, everywhere that is. But I'm almost positive that's doable. And so inside, this was the last time we were looking at this, and we're not going to raise that lintel, so we go down. This is where the lintel is. This existing lintel is here, Now from Andersen, they do make a 6'7" 7.5" door in a variety. These can be all glass like your rear door, but they also make, besides that, they make this 11 1/4" transom. So we can still accomplish this and still have room to spare, because this is the 6'7" 7.5" door, and this is our 3/8 inch gap at the top, and it can be a little larger than that, but we still have 2 1/4 inches to play with in terms of that rough opening. So a person might want to confirm that we have 7'9" 3/8 from the subfloor to that steel lintel. And they do make, the Andersen also makes a 6'10" 3/8, but that only leaves 11 inches of space, and those windows are 11 1/4. So if you wanted a complete unit, we would have to special order these at 10 1/2 or whatever. So, but this would work from all their stock items. And they make an 8-foot door, but that's too high. The blue line is above our red line. These are the colors on the exterior of these doors that we'd be buying. Any of these. And I'm assuming, what I'm showing is, I'm showing what your house is painted. The cocoa bean is probably the closest, but you might want to opt for any of these others. Your windows are white, and I've just shown it in brown because your rear door is brown. And then you have your interior finishes. I'm assuming it's going to be one of these white ones, either white or, to me, you'll have to know what's in your house, and you know what is on your trim, whether that's going to be closest to birch, bark, or white. Finally, the patio door hardware. This is for hinge doors. Now I'm showing hinge doors. So these ones here that have this bit here, all these levers, are for the hinge doors. These other ones are for the sliding doors. So there's, the finishes as well as the lever type that you would have to specify. And they also have these modern levers. Yeah, you would have a lever of some type inside, and you would have to specify that. For your house, if I was specifying it, it would have one of these curved ones, I would think. But that's up to you. And then this is where we were when we began, or whatever, at those chunky newel posts and the stairs coming up through there. That was one of the very first situations. And then we moved these stairs over to the middle, and finally lighten everything up by going to this cable railing. And I'm showing the black right here. But you can see, I think that helps quite a bit. And here are the different colors. That's black, brown, and that is their bronze. I think the brown could work, depending on what it actually looks like in real life. But that is entirely up to you in any event. I really like the stairs over there, I have to say. And I'm not sure that we're completely done with this through here. It's possible something might happen up through there. But I like the stairs up through there. And the next thing we'll look at is, real quickly, is just some of these brackets. And you can see, I don't think anything is lost too much without any trim at the base of these columns. If there were trim, if this manufacturer offers this aluminum trim to fit 6x6s, that might be something we would consider. But again, it would be in that color. So we have to see how close that color is to what you have. And this is, you can see, this works down through here as well. I'm starting to favor this over the hardscape one, but as I talked to Damon about it, you can build anything you like back here. But this has all the parts coming down through here and making it to the bottom without any problem. Because of the way things are situated, we can sit all of our newel posts on flat surfaces. The one at the very bottom has to go all the way on to where that patio is. I mean, if this is actually built, that is to go all the way onto the patio. So some sort of, concrete needs to be provided for that to be bolted to. But the rest of everything just bolts to the deck framing. And that's the last photo of this film, and this is down the hill. I don't have one, from the other shot with all the heavy stuff on it. But this is down the hill. That's all. I'll be in touch, I'm sure. Thanks very much.